This is the Carolina Real Estate Podcast. Today, a special episode of the Carolina Real Estate Podcast, Coastal Home Tour. Coastal Home Tour takes you on a tour of coastal neighborhoods. Your tour guides are knowledgeable and experienced coastal Carolina realtors who know this neighborhood. Listen as they talk about properties, lifestyle, and amenities in this neighborhood.
Alex, thanks for joining us. This is awesome, man. This is a great listing you have.
Thanks, Bill. I appreciate you having me.
No, it's awesome. And you're going to be on the front cover of the next Mount Pleasant magazine. This listing is. Not you. You look,
no.
You know.
Well, the house looks, I think, a little better than I do, but.
No, you know what I wanted to talk about was you. Because I've gotten to know you over the last couple of years, and I do think you're a special person. I remember getting to know you better when I'm talking to you about business. And you indicate, Bill, I'm in line to pick up my son, you know, and it just touched me a little bit. So you're a dad. How many kids do you have?
Absolutely. I've got a 11-year-old boy and an 8-year-old daughter. Okay. So right in the thick of it right now.
Yep, you are, definitely.
Yeah, but I have it no other way. I love my kids.
Not too long after we met, I do a lot of business with Palmetto Christian Academy, as you know. They're a special school, very rooted in the community, as you know. Mm-hmm. I saw you there during, I think we were doing a tasting.
That's right.
And I saw you there.
So there was a mac and cheese tasting.
Yes. And I was one of the judges.
It was a tasty tasting.
Yeah, there you go.
No, they do a great job at PCA. My son's in 4th grade, my daughter's in 2nd. We're members at their affiliate church, East Cooper Baptist. And it's just the community is what we love about it the most.
You know, when it comes to showing houses, I want to go through this one for sure, but you have a great passion for selling real estate. Where did that come from?
I think just the blessing of being raised in Charleston. My family moved to Charleston when I was a baby. I grew up south of Broad. I grew up in these historic old houses. My parents had a second house on Sullivan's Island, so I split my time between.
So as a young person, you spent a lot of time in Sullivan's Island.
Absolutely. Half my year on the island, half my year on the peninsula. And I'd say one of my fondest memories with my family is we would go to the tour of homes. And I always enjoyed that. Even as a young child, you would think that would be incredibly boring. But for some reason, I had a passion for it, and I didn't realize it was the real estate. But I'm kind of harnessing that passion now in what I'm doing.
I mean, I wouldn't have it any other way. I publish in the magazine. I love being so passionate about it, and I love being around other people that are passionate about what they do. So that's great. This house was built in 1900?
The year 1900 flat, yeah.
And it's the officers' quarters.
Correct, yeah. 126 years ago, the Army Corps of Engineers was commissioned to build these 11 houses. And they actually graded Sullivan's Island up. So we were sitting in an ex-flood zone, out of floodwaters. So these 11 officers' houses could have a direct view of the Atlantic Ocean and oncoming, threats.
You know, the other day I was with a casual conversation, and there was somebody new in the group. And somebody in the group said, if you really want to know a beach, you should go over to Sullivan's Island. That's a real beach. And I didn't think about it, because when you live in an area as long as you do, sometimes you forget the golden nuggets that are out there. Mm-hmm. But truly, Sullivan's Island isn't just about fancy houses or expensive houses. It's about how wonderful and beautiful it is.
No question. It's just a special beach. It's tethered to so much of our history as a country. And it also is just a gorgeous place to spend an afternoon. So it's truly special.
Let's go in and look at the house. You want to do that?
Yeah, let's check a look.
All right.
Yeah.
It's a great house.
Stunning.
I mean, the walls could talk, right?
Seriously.
Is there really 5 or 6 fireplaces?
Six fireplaces, all functioning. They were originally coal burners.
Okay.
And they are all original, tile, molding. They're all fully functional. The funny thing is that the fireplaces are, 126 years old, but because there was no active war happening on Sullivan's Island from 1900 to 2026, the fireplaces are actually unused.
Wow.
Yep, no ash in the flues whatsoever.
That's interesting about the fireplaces, but the ceiling is special.
Unbelievably special. I mean, 11 feet is a rare height, and these are all pressed tin. And what's funny is that this house has obviously been remodeled expertly by Talby Taylor. When they went to replace certain panels of this tin, they thought to themselves, where are we going to find 126-year-old matching patterns? The company that made these in 1900 are still in business today.
That's awesome.
And are still processing this metal that can replicate for this house.
Well, not only is it beautiful, but it shows you that there's a lot of other people think it's beautiful.
Absolutely.
They're in the same...
Yeah, still a market for it.
How old is that chandelier?
The chandelier and almost all the light fixtures in the house are original, 126 years old. The goal that Talby had when recreating this space was to use as much original as possible while making the house in the core and its bones as modern as possible.
You know, Alex, I have to say, the fact that there's an architect that owns this house says a lot for the house itself.
I agree. When you have a craftsman, a female with that kind of energy and passion for history and an eye for design, it just blends beautifully old world and new world.
So that was interesting about the ceiling. I mean, it's really cool, but this is awesome too, Alex.
This is gorgeous. This is actually an exterior porch, but obviously it has been brought into the house as almost a solarium. So you get this exposed rafter beams, and the windows, they had to bring in newer windows, and they thought, how can we get old windows but new? These windows were brought in from the Citadel.
Really?
Yeah, but they were brought over from the Citadel and built around here to encapsulate this solarium.
So the fact that they were from Citadel, does that mean they were part of the building of the Citadel?
They were part of the building of the Citadel, and when that building was no longer needing these windows, the owner brought these windows here to bring that old to this new.
Wow. It certainly brightens everything up.
Brightens everything up, and
it's like being outside almost.
It is. It gets great western sun on this side, and there's another solarium on the other side that gets the easterly sunlight too.
Stay on top of coastal real estate. Like us and follow us to receive the latest episode.
I've had some of your staff people say if they lived here, this is where they would do all their work. This is a nice setting.
This is just a great nook. I mean, some people say breakfast nook, but I agree with you. This is be kind of an everything nook.
Let's go in the kitchen, because I really liked what I see in the kitchen.
100%.
Earlier today, I asked one of your team members, I asked Tori, I said, Tori, I don't mean to be ignorant, but is this really brick? Because there's so many things that are fake out there that look so similar. And she said, absolutely, Bill.
Yeah, that's really important, Bill, because when you're doing a kitchen, you obviously have to bring in modern appliances, modern plumbing, but you don't want to lose the old world feel. So absolutely, the bricks are reclaimed and they bring that old world 126-year-old vibe to a space that is completely modernized.
These are recycled?
These are reused bricks that were repurposed and laid here because this kitchen was actually expanded. This was 4 different rooms to get this kind of modern flow that had to be opened up and relaying the floor. So the goal was to get as old of a flooring as possible.
It's kind of like the windows out there coming from the Citadel, or the roofing and the ceiling in the parlor room in there.
Exactly. There's a way to build new construction with old materials. It just takes a lot of time and passion from that architect, Talby, to source, find, install, and blend.
Staying in the kitchen a little bit longer, okay? I mean, this is their own wine cellar, except it's not in the cellar.
I know, it's not in the cellar, it's above the cellar. This is a great example of the modern aspect of the kitchen. You've got multiple fridges, double ovens, wine fridge, another beverage center over here. But you know, you've got the original brick below it, you've got the original tin ceiling above you.
Yep.
So it is a perfect kind of sandwich of old and
You're right, that's a great way to put it, Alex. Here we are in the room with all these Citadel windows again, huh?
Yeah, I love this room because this is the eastward facing solarium, so you're gonna get all that morning light. So this is the side where I would wanna spend the first half of my day, and that's really what makes this solarium special. And these Citadel windows just bring so much of that natural light in, and they also bring so much of the exterior landscape in, and it really feels like you're almost in a treehouse sitting in Sullivan's Island.
It does, really. When we were talking about the fireplaces in the first room, because I understand that one of your attributes or one of the things that you do to tell people about your listings, Alex, is every room has a special thing for you. When we were in the front room there and we talked about the fireplaces in the ceiling, what's special about that room for you?
I love that room because it's kind of your welcome to the house. It's classic in Charleston to walk into a Charleston single and have a formal sitting room directly when you enter. And even though this is not a Charleston single, it is clearly Southern style architecture. So to walk right into a formal sitting room is a classic and Southern welcome.
I agree with that. I didn't think of it until you said it. You know, this is like the one in the front, except it's the sitting room, but it's a little bit bigger and still got the awesome ceiling that we talked about, but it's a little more formal, isn't it?
It is. It's a little more formal, a little bit smaller. You still get the 11-foot ceilings that add that depth. And I just love how every one of the 6 fireplaces has a different tile orientation and color, and it adds to the character of the room. And you're right, I think this one does add a little bit more formality.
Do they all have pocket doors?
Oh, pocket doors throughout the whole first floor. Absolutely. They all still operate, original hardware, just a classic Charleston feature.
How long did it take her to remodel this?
Better part of 3 years.
Wow.
Yeah, I mean, it was a true passion project. And when they encountered something that was a real obstacle, they really took their time to stop, think it over, pour over a solution while preserving as much as possible.
Alex, I've really enjoyed this. This is great, but there's so much more. Is there really 6 bedrooms?
6 bedrooms, you got over 6,000 square feet. It's a spacious house with these solariums, all the entertaining space on the ground level, and even outdoor space that we haven't included in that square footage.
It's 6 bedrooms, 6,000 square feet. Okay. How many bathrooms does it have?
I believe it's got 5 bathrooms.
I think it's got 5.5.
I think it's got 5.5. 5.5.
Are the other officers' quarters that large? Is it 6,000 square feet?
Yeah, actually, when they built the officers' houses, they actually only had 2 floor plans, and this is one of those 2. So one floor plan was slightly smaller and one was slightly larger, which this one is.
How many are on this row?
There are 11 total on this row.
Wow. Have they all been redone?
No. Some of them have been remodeled. Few of them have not. So there is one at the end that is currently under remodel, but the majority of them need some sort of updating, whereas this is the most modern of all of them.
So I've got something actually that's got nothing to do with this house.
Okay.
So when you lived on the island, you were a youngster. Do you remember riding your bike up and down the street?
Oh, absolutely. I mean, we grew up at Station 29, and here we're between Station 18 and 17. But I would ride up and down the entire island nonstop.
Did you ever imagine you'd be selling one of these houses when you're on your bicycle rolling down the street?
Absolutely not. I remember coming to this island after Hurricane Hugo and seeing a lot of what happened. But I remember riding down this street specifically and seeing what good a shape these houses were in. And I always thought it'd be nice to go inside them one day. And really never happened until I was in real estate sales.
Well, it certainly is a great listing, and the fact that it is owned by an architect, I still think that's intriguing to me anyway. I don't know how many houses you've sold that are owned by architects, but the fact that this one is owned by an architect I think it has a special meaning to the bones of it.
Yeah. I mean, when you have a historic house, it has typically a story, and it tells a long story. And when the most previous owner is a passionate architect for a house, you know that the baton is being handed off to the next owner by a true craftsman. And that is what I would tell the next buyer, is that you are getting this house at a great time in its history.
Well, Alex, thanks for being here.
It's been a pleasure.
Thanks for taking the time.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
You've been listening to or watching the Carolina Real Estate Podcast with Bill Macchio. Want to know more?